Crit status active. Orbital status standby.
What is up, Guardians? This is Cosmodrome Radio, broadcasting on all frequencies, all the way to apparently Europa, from what the leaks and the rumors are speculating, because we might be having some fun in the Deep Stone Crypt this coming season. But we don't know if that's real. We might be going to Mars, so we'll broadcast to Mars too, because there's a lot of stuff fluctuating. Because Bungie won't tell us anything, but it's fine. We're just gonna be excited.
Imagine why.
I mean, we'll get to that because we have words about the community in a little bit, but we're gonna like be calm, be excited, be cautiously optimistic, and we're gonna see what happens. But this is Cosmodrome Radio, the podcast all about SD2 and the world around it. But my name is Pan of the Paladin. To my left, we have the Titan that, man. 1 minute he doing great, and the next minute he's getting one shot by a vandal and a GM. So how you
It wasn't a vandal.
I thought it was a shank.
It was a tracer
Oh,
shank.
it was a tracer
that
shank.
headshot me.
I apologize. It was a tracer shank.
I got headshot by a tracer shank. Fight me.
Oh no, because it's okay, because then there's the person over here to my left, to my right, who had the to be the only hunter possible to get stuck in the pipes above the Warmind bunker while we're trying to get through the Fallen Saber GM last night, and they literally tried to arc super to get out and they couldn't. So Chris, how you doing?
Sometimes supers do stupid shit like that. People have broken the game like that before.
How did you even get up there?
There were enemies trying to come through that doorway, and I was trying to jump like out of the way to get around them because you're like, enemies spawn from over there. So when I did, I just happened to jump close enough to it that it kind of was like, oh, you wanted to jump here, and auto corrected me, and then I couldn't get out.
Wow.
You're also forgetting that I also somehow phased through a handrail and died because I didn't realize I had phased through a handrail.
Yeah, that was weird. But thankfully I was at a mana shield and picked your butt up, so that was fun. And then we actually have a really cool guest this evening. After her announcement on Twitter about trying to take some reins over and do some cool things, we reached out and got her on the show, and I'm excited to see what happens here. So, creator of D2Foundry.gg, like a new tool coming to Guardians everywhere, we have Kat. How you doing this evening?
Hey, I'm doing great. I'm happy to be on.
Hell yeah! But why don't we start off and just straight up before we dive into the Twabba one? Let's talk about what you got going on specifically, because when you first announced this, it seemed like a really cool thing. So why don't you give people the elevator pitch?
Yeah, sure. So I guess for context, I started work on D2Foundry back when it was announced that D2 Gunsmith wasn't going to be worked on anymore. And I know there's lots of other tools that are kind of in the same vein, but I decided, might be a good opportunity for me to try making one. And so, I've got this weapon role explorer, I guess is what it's technically called. And yeah, you can do stuff, find guns, try out rolls, see the stats.
I mean, that's still cool, but what made you want to take over the reins though, for real?
I mean, I've always considered it. I guess this specifically, but I work in tech. I'm a software engineer as a day job. So I make lots of websites. And I think Bungie actually does a really good job with supporting its third-party devs, right? And they've got this really cool sort of API, which is a little more rare, I think, for games. And so I've seen this kind of vibrant dev community grow over the years, and I don't know. I just felt it was kind of a good opportunity to get in
Okay.
and provide a tool for the community that you know otherwise maybe would have gone away, I guess,
That's
or
so
like
cool.
would have gone somewhere else. Um,
That's really cool. Yeah, no, like like when it caught my eye, I was super interested because like people, not especially to this day, there's so many casuals that actually don't really know about these different tools and that Bungie allows their API to be accessed, and to Bungie's even detriment sometimes when it comes to trying to hide things. They are able to. I remember the big secret that came to the Halloween sniper is that like you knew almost every role that thing could have off rip before it even came out. But like how does that really work? Like are you able to expand a little bit and talk about specifically how that works specifically with Bungie like giving access like that?
yeah. So I'm trying to think of like how I can describe it in maybe like layman's terms. Um, so you have like some sort of key that like gives you access to calls to this API, right? And they have a manifest, as they call it, which is basically just like a big sort of dictionary of all of the stuff in the game, right? So that includes weapons, armor, you name it, any sort of item or thing that has like a definition lives in there, um, as well as they have support for activities and that sort of thing. And that's how you see other third-party apps utilize that portion of it. But um, in terms of things getting leaked beforehand, typically they have like a flag on items called redacted, right?
Oh,
And so if something is redacted, that usually like hides it from in-game, and it gives it like that bright like magenta icon with the Destiny
right.
symbol, if you've ever seen it. Um, and so some items they just leave exposed like that, right? And I guess that's really all there is to that.
Okay. But like I just like I found that very interesting off rip that like there's so much that can go into it when you start like digging into the pieces. And I want like what is your end goal specifically that you see with the program? Like I know that like what do you see being like unique about what you want to bring to the table?
Right. So I guess you uh well, I mean, I think in the short term, I can kind of start maybe with that. Um, I think, I'm just gonna continue kind of polishing the website, bringing in some of the functionality that I feel it's like missing right now. Some of the things the community, has kind of come to expect, I guess. So things like range calculator and different stats like that, being able to compare weapons. I think eventually um, it may take on some different forms. I think right now it's just weapons. I think ideally it'd be great to bring it to a place where um, you can kind of incorporate a weapon into a build and have a really easy way of like planning out uh, how you might make like a specific build, right? And seeing the different ways like effects from your subclass interact with your mods and having that displayed in a
Ooh.
really clear sort of way. So I think that's like one sort of aspect in the far future, but beyond that, just really making things um, very accessible. Trying to display things in like a way that feels really clear and maybe familiar to players. I know there's like lots of people that don't like dig super deep into build crafting or theory crafting, right?
Right.
And so like how I'm really thinking about like how can I give those people the sort of information like in a clear enough way for them to make their own sort of decisions and think about the game in this sort of way beyond just, watching a content creator and kind of mimicking them, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, dope. I have to admire that because, like, honestly, just even looking at what you've done so far, I'm very much just like, there's so much work that has to go into this. I don't even like know how you have the time because, my God, like even the filters that you've already done, I'm astounded by because, like, wow, holy crap,
When you're
like
passionate about something, you lose time. It's great.
that's fair.
For sure.
I'm about to say, total praise. Is there anything that you want to ask her about in regards to this? Because I'm just dumbfounded right now. Like I'm even like, wow, you even added screenshot mode. Like there's different things like that you're trying to throw into the mix.
Well, and you have fun, man. You're asking all the fun questions.
I'm kind of in the dumbfounded boat because if you can give me a place where I can super easily put in or see my loadout and how things work together, especially as far as like mods or perks go, if you can give me a really easy interface for that, oof, you got me. I'm sold, because trying to remember all this stuff on top of all my work stuff is just asinine sometimes, or with how frequently they update and change and nerf and buff things. I'm old. I don't remember these things anymore. So having a really easy interface
oh my gosh.
would be helpful.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, I think that's maybe what I'm trying to bring to the table, because there are of course other tools out there, right? Like GG exists. There's plenty of other ones for checking out roles, this sort of information, but really just trying to make it simple, easy, and also as fast as possible. Like just making it really easy if your friend is like, hey, do you know any solar SMGs with demolitionist, that you can just like pull it up and find that in a second.
Is there like any solar SMGs in the game right now besides Borrowed Time?
Callus mini.
Oh, you're right, Callus Mini. Well, I'm an idiot.
Death
As much as I
Adder.
use that damn gun, I don't think I remember that.
Wasn't the Ikelis SMG solar?
I thought
No,
it's
it's
Arc.
Arc.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
Arc.
okay.
Which that'll be fun to talk about. But like, no, like, but just from in general, like, obviously you're a fan. Like, like, how long have you been like, what's your Destiny story? Since we got you here and we're gonna like talk about the 12 and whatnot. Like, what is your Destiny story, Kat?
Yeah, sure. So, I started playing Destiny, I guess in the D1 beta.
Another beta rep. Let's go.
The beta rep. And I mean, I grew up like playing Halo, like a big fan of Bungie's games, and I guess I like missed the initial sort of hype around Destiny, and then a friend of mine, I was just like over at their place one day, and they were playing the beta, and like I saw it, oh shit, it looked super cool. Like I saw a hand cannon, and I was like, yo, it's like the Halo 1 pistol.
I feel like this game is going to take over my life.
Exactly. And then, I mean, I played all through D1. Back then, I guess I started as like a hunter main, and
Excellent.
then I switched to a Titan main, I think in the Taken
You.
game. Because I mean, Twilight Garrison. That's all that I guess I need to say. And then I dropped off after like the first year of D2.
Yep.
Like
Ooh, that's
partially
fair.
because of where the game was, right? But I mean, it was also just I didn't really have time in my life at that point for Destiny. And then when Beyond Light came out, I started playing again, switched back to Hunter. And then I know. I fell in love with the throwing knives. And
Rip my heart out, why don't you?
Hunter Master Race, whatever, Panda.
Hey, y'all need to sit down with that Gear Falcon right now. That Gear Falcon's out of control.
I don't have it. I don't have
I
it.
mean, I agree. Yeah, Deer Falcon's quite strong.
It's just the reign of the Shadow Ninjas needs to stop. That's all I'm saying.
I agree. Yeah.
Can we go back to Stasis Rain, please? Thank you.
Right, like I would rather take like go back to the Shatter Dive hell, because at least I would have my one-shot shoulder charge. Like, I would go back to that than deal with this nonsense. Like, that's how bad it is. It's not even funny. But like that, I'm still just like, wow, that like dumbfounded about the fact that you took this on yourself to do all this work. And even for me right now, like, I kind of enjoyed like the larger interface compared to other sites. So like I'm grateful for that, because I gotta wear glasses sometimes because I'm tripping. But like, just it's so just streamlined the way you have it set up so far. So I'm excited to see where you take it.
Thank you.
But at the very least, like, thank you for being here, and we're down to just like shoot the mess and have a good time and enjoy the end of the season. Like, well, like, I know the controversy as of late has been kind of bothering folks, but like, I think we're at a point where a lot of people are just burnt out and they're assuming the worst. Because for those who like hasn't been paying attention to the past like week in the Destiny community, everybody and their mama has been tripping about the fact that like the player population numbers are lower than they were during Curse of Osiris, which was the last giant like low point in Destiny in terms of content, in terms of like things that were going on that people enjoyed. And people are even saying this one's even worse than Curse of Osiris, and I'm like, are y'all okay? Like, I'm not a Bungie apologist and saying they don't need to do like any fixes at all, but like, are y'all all right? Like, it ain't that bad.
People do realize what major PvP game just came out early, like last month.
Oh no, Toll, it's a dead game, don't you know?
Oh, dude,
I mean, like the dead game talk has been like to an extreme though. Like,
and on top of that, Warzone 2 just came out.
I mean, you have Overwatch 2 about to be in season 2. You have Call of Duty.
Yeah, no one really cares about Overwatch anyway.
I mean, some people do, but like, and then you have freaking Fortnite's about to drop a new season. You have Apex that's going strong right now. Like, there's so much going on. Like, the gaming landscape has shifted to the point that while there will never be a Destiny killer, there's going, like, especially when we're in a low period, you're going to see low numbers like this. Like, this kind of feels how it felt like around the season of the Lost, where like the content wasn't a lot there, but like it's still like you still had stuff to do. Same as this season, where there was a lot of seasonal content to do. People were just kind of burnt out. Like we're about to be on season 4 of the Witch Queen. The Witch Queen content has like come and gone, and like some people's point, this did feel like a bit of a filler season. Like they planned on digging Aramis out of the ice at some point, but like this did feel like a filler season. But I don't think Bungie deserves the amount of hate they're getting from the community right now. And I kind of need people to calm down. Like, it's okay. they're expecting Bungie to have this like really snappy turnaround time and to fix everything, but the one thing that I did resonate with that I think it was Sweatsicle said that it's an accumulation of frustration where it's like there's been no like change to the core activities really. Like, Gambit's still a hot mess. PvP like people are bitching. Like, the strikes are the same strikes we've had for years now, except for the 2 new ones. Like, there's no change to the dynamic. So I think that's why a lot of people are frustrated. But at the same time, I'm very much like, I'm content. Like, I'm excited for new content. I'm not stressing about it. Like, I'm good. So like, while I'm not gonna be so like a hardcore Bungie apologist and say like there's nothing to work on. I'm alright. I'm very much.
Oh, there is stuff to work on.
There's stuff to work on. Like, but servers need to work on. Like the past 24 hours, servers have been rough. I don't know what happened, but like stuff just got rough. Like, I don't know what time it happened, but just like the past 24 hours, Bungie has been struggling to keep the game online. People are being error coded constantly. The three of us tried to do a damn GM. It got kicked out twice, and we were just like, yeah, no, we're done. Like, we legitimately couldn't. I remember we got halfway through the GM, and Vandals were dying and then respawning and dying and respawning, and we're just like, here it comes. And then we all got babooned. So it was just like, yeah, no, like, so I don't know what's going on from that aspect. I know from a PvP aspect, people are just kind of done. But like, I'm over here like kind of like on the defense for Bungie, because I can really give a crap. Like the gaming landscape is different. There's gonna be changes, but the game is still gonna be the core of what we do. But at the same time, I understand some people's complaints. So like, I don't know. So how you feeling?
Well, I mean, I'm upset because it was like, it's the last 2 days of the season. Servers go down, and I'm just like, I have some stuff I can do. I'm going to go do it. Couldn't do it. And it was annoying. And it's like, what? It was background maintenance that turned the game upside down.
Right.
So I'm just sitting here like, can you like, I don't want to say compensate us, Bungie, but like, could you compensate us? Because some people, it's like end of the season, so we're trying to finish stuff.
I mean, I can get that.
I mean, they have a limited time cutscene, right, for this week. Well, I guess we'll go back if they bought the deluxe edition. But yeah, it's kind of a bummer.
Right, but like in terms of the current community sentiment, I know with you working so hard on this, you have to kind of be in the trenches somewhat when it comes to the game. So like, how have you been feeling about what the community's been feeling about everything?
I mean, I think it's easy for folks that play the game a lot to lose perspective, right? I think this game has come like such a long way from where it was once, and not to like excuse, I guess, the current state of the game or whatever, but like, I mean, there was a time, right, where we went and an entire year without any new content, and like and a time where the game was in such a bad state, and I think those of us that like play this game a lot and love this game to death, we run out of stuff to do so quickly, and like I just don't know that there's any real way for Bungie to kind of appease that voracious appetite. I don't know. But I think burnout's real, right? Especially if
Oh, absolutely. Especially at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Right, like people like busted their butts to get like the boot, and like especially this season too, where you had a reprised raid, you had like whole seasons worth of content, you had people bounty grinding for the reprised raid to the point they were like burning themselves out during Season of the Haunted, and then like by the time you grind so much, you don't really have anything left to do. Like you're ready for GMs by the time like the first week of the season's done. So when it comes to the content creator sentiment, like it makes sense that people are upset. From the PvP side of things, that's a whole other ballgame that like that's going to take a lot of dissection to really dive into, because PvP is upset from like an airborne effectiveness standpoint. They're upset that there's no really like reward or reason to keep playing. People are mad about skill-based matchmaking in the casual playlist. And I'm like, that's a lot right there. Like, because we've done our speech about like skill-based matchmaking before, where it's like, I hear you about the casual playlist, but then if we put it in the ranked and trials, y'all should have no reason to complain. And yeah, people still complain. So it's just like, I don't know what to really do with that. I will say, I finally kind of understand what the community means about the airborne effectiveness issues when I watch the video of the cheater trying to like auto shoot fly around the map with a sniper rifle, and he couldn't hit his targets even with aimbot. So like,
that was kind of funny.
It was funny, but like when you just see like dude just shooting a circle of sniper bullets at the target and they're not dying, I'm kind of like, yeah, I see what you're saying about AE now. But like, but I think with this week's TWAB, Bungie was kind of like, all right, cool. How can we help you guys with airborne effectiveness without gutting it from the game? And like, to people's like irritation, airborne effectiveness isn't going anywhere. So they're like, just gut it from the game. But they're like, we're not going to, because we see it as beneficial for people. And I don't know.
I mean, it obviously works.
I mean, like, I've heard a lot of like PvP people talk recently about the changes that have been done. Because first it was the slide nerf that made it so when you slide, you lose a bunch of like handling and like and whatnot, like in accuracy when it comes to your shot. Then it was the whole thing with the airborne effectiveness. Then it's nerfing all these guns and whatnot. And it's like it's very much Bungie is catering more to the casual player and almost like punishing the hardcore player for investing time in the game. And I can kind of see it, but at the same time, I think where the airborne effectiveness specifically bothers me is that people were legit just running around with stompies on crack, just freaking mapping people with shotguns and having no punishment for it. So like, I'm not saying airborne effectiveness is perfect, but like, I hear you a little bit more than I used to after seeing
And what,
some
it came
new
out at the
stuff.
beginning of season 17?
It came out during Haunted or Risen.
Haunted.
Yeah,
It hasn't even been a year yet. Let's revisit airborne effectiveness and see how they've done with it once a year rolls around from when Season of the Haunted released.
I feel like this season specifically, because Bungie's like, hey, we'll give you some mods to help with AE. We'll change air assault to actually matter with AE. And I'm like, okay, that's like that might shut him up a little bit. Because me, like, I know some people are like, oh, we should be able to use like Icarus grip on a hand cannon and to be able to hit the shots and whatnot. I'm like, why are you jumping with a hand cannon anyway, my guy? Like, why are you trying to hit shots midair with a hand cannon and think they're gonna hit every shot? Like,
well,
that's
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, historically, hand cannons were so. I guess for a little more context on myself, like I'm a PvP main.
Ooh,
so,
okay, cool. That's what I have the discussion. Let's go.
Hand cannons were historically like better in the air, right? And they do still sort of intrinsically have that sort of quick ready after certain actions, like jumping, sprinting,
Right.
and they share that with like sidearms and SMGs, and we're kind of like naturally more agile, I guess. But yeah, I mean the airborne effectiveness changes definitely. I don't know. It's hard to take them for anything because they came at the same time as like a lot of other sort of big sweeping changes. There was the pulse rifle buff. There was God, what else? The shotgun nerf. There was like a lot of stuff that kind of layered on top.
The fusion rifles coming into the meta and stuff like that.
That kind of promoted a lot of like passive sort of degenerate play. And like now, of course, it has been causing a wreck on the Crucible for I guess since Void 3.0.
The ability spam has kind of been out of control. It makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they nerfed ability regen back in the 30th anniversary, and then we're in an ability sort of meta again. But I think like to get to the TWAB, right? Like
right.
They did mention in the future like a large rebalance of the stat, making it, I think Icarus level from prior to Haunted, for primary weapons.
Which that was cool to see. Like at least you can say somewhat people are like they're listening and being like, hey, we kind of get what you're saying from that regard. So that's cool to know.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think my biggest gripe has mostly just been the lack of ways to build into it. Like I get the idea of it, like have it some sort of cost that like you have to pay in order to build into this play style. I get that. But
Right.
yeah, there just hasn't been a ton of that. Unless you're running like a specific sort of exotic combo.
I don't know, like Lion Rampage and Jotun was kind of fun early on, but like it got boring.
It's still fun.
It's not fun.
It is.
So that's good that you are a PvP man, because we can dive into more of what's going on with this TWAP specifically, because this is a beefy motherfucker right here. So let's go ahead and get into this. The first thing that was like kind of broke the internet, because like the information from the Ubisoft side kind of leaked the day before, and then Bungie announced it, was that Ubisoft and Bungie are doing a collab in terms of like shared content and armor, similar to what they did with Fortnite this past season. And you're going to see assassin-based sets coming to Destiny this coming season, where you have like an Altair-looking warlock, you'll have a Viking-looking Titan, and a Greek-looking Spartan hunter. Which I know a lot of like hunters are mad you didn't get in the Ezio set, but like, what are you gonna do? I'm sorry, no Ezio Auditore for you. But the Apple of Eden ghost, chef's kiss. That's beautiful. I need that. Like, it won't be my main ghost, but that just looks great. I love that. But from the Ubisoft side, in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, not only are you getting a Gjallarhorn themed wolf skin, you're getting a Gjallarhorn themed sword. You're getting Shaxx and Saint 14 armor in the game. There's also going to be a Dawnblade sword. There's going to be a giant Silence and Squall scythe that you can use in game. There's going to be an arc staff you can use in game. And it just looks really cool that like Bungie's willing to do these kind of collabs. I think the thing that the same sentiment that everyone's going to say is that like, why is this in the cash shop and not something you can do in game to earn? But what are you going to do? They gotta make the cash app is the cash app. You do what you want with that. At least this is not going to interfere with the Arc 3.0 armor that we were supposed to get this past season. That Bungie said, hey, you'll get that in season 19. So they have confirmed we're still getting the Arc armor with this bundle as well. So that'll be cool to see. I'm feeling it. Especially like I even like caught.
That was pretty cool.
I can't even caught Valhalla on a discount that way I could play as Saint, so that'll be kind of fun to do. But how y'all feel about this? Because it looks kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I mean, I'm not. Who doesn't want to make their Titan look like a Viking? At least I'll have something good to look with Ursa Furiosa now.
I'm sorry.
The armor looks sick. I mean,
Chris, how you feeling?
I have not played Assassin's Creed.
Ever?
Oh
my god.
But I definitely do think it looks interesting, and the fact that they are doing another collab with another big, game universe. For me personally, I think it is exciting to think of what might possibly come in the future. Because like I don't play Fortnite or Fall Guys either, but I thought it was cool to see the collabs and like the potential doors that could open. So seeing that they have another collab so soon, I just think it's neat.
Can we get a Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Elden Ring crossover with Destiny, please? Like, do you know how cool that would be? Like Bloodborne warlocks with with the trench coats, like freaking Dark Souls, like knight armor on Titans. Like I could feel it in my bones. Like, oh, that'd be so great. I would love that to death.
I think a Warframe crossover would be neat, but I don't know how it would work.
That would be so complex. Oh my god. I know like I'm really gonna like have to like fuck around with these. I even said, and you know this is a cool crossover when I even said after Origins I was done playing Assassin's Creed because the story was going nowhere, and it was to the point where even the comic books had resolved the plot line because Ubisoft was taking too long. So this is a big crossover that got me to come back to AC because I was done with AC. I had tapped out. So good job on Bungie for making me pick up an AC game for the first time in like two generations. Because after Origins, I was done. from there, we found out what guns and name at least are coming to into the rotation, and Toll was very excited because after much dismay, because Toll came back to the game after.
Everybody who's listened to the podcast knows how much I moan and groan about not having a hung jury, but now I can finally get one next season.
Because they're bringing a hung jury back in the rotation because they're rotating out Silicon Aroma and Duty Bound and bringing in Wendigo back into the game after a long time being gone, and they're bringing back hung jury. And this is the first time since they began the rotating out that we're seeing a gun return, which I think is really cool. That we're seeing a gun come back into rotation after being gone. So that brings a lot of promise to the idea that they hinted at legacy focusing, but also the potential for guns to rotate back in, which is very cool to me.
Quick side note for GMs next season: we now know we're getting Insight Terminus because of an in-game message saying, "Hey, Insight Terminus is going to be the."
That's like one of the GMs. That's all we know. Like, that's just a little thing. But like,
it's a little side note. But hey, we know we're getting that next season.
Though it is kind of funny because Insight Terminus was the first GM that had hung juries. So watch them be like, "Hey, hung jury's back the first week of the season." I'll be like, "You motherfuckers!"
Oh my god, you'll hear Toll squealing.
Like that'll just annoy the crap out of me because now I have to regrind for this damn scout rifle because now it's gonna have this origin perk, and I spent so long grinding Insight Terminus for this damn god roll of rapid hit explosive payload, and now I have to do it again, and I'm just like, why?
It is also fitting they bring it back right after the box breathing nerf.
Which that's so dirty. You legit said, "Hey, we're gonna buff this archetype." And I even said on previous podcast episodes that, hey, it's kind of messed up that you buffed Hung Jury's archetype while Hung Jury's not even in the rotation for people to get. So you have people like me in the Crucible going tap, tap, tap and being an asshole. And then it's like, oh, they can't get this. And then Bungie's like, here you go, but we're going to nerf box breathing. I'm like, why? Like, what was the point? Like, you legit just buffed this whole archetype just to nerf it. Like, why? I just... annoying, but it's fine. What we are getting for trials this coming season, we are getting a Suros adaptive hand cannon. Which did we need another hand cannon? Did we need another hand? We have so many hand cannons. We don't need another 140. How am I wrong? I'm right. There's so many. Like,
okay, we're getting another shotgun. We don't need another shotgun.
Agreed.
We need all the shotguns.
See, we need all the hand cannon. Boom.
Shotguns are different. Shotguns are always.
No, they're not. Hand cannon supremacy, baby.
No, because we finally have reached a point where hand cannons are not the dominant force in the Crucible, and like I don't care what the sweats say. We're finally at a point where you see a variety of guns in the top 10 of trials. You see pulse rifles, you see sidearms, you see SMGs, you see hand cannons. Like it's a variety now.
See?
What?
Auto rifles.
That I will give you. That's a little scuff. Well, the emit kind of pulled up for a minute.
I want a better auto rifle.
You just got the emit. The emit was running game all season. What do you mean?
Oh, I know, but I want more. I want a 600 RPM.
The emit, which is a reskinned Uriel's Vow.
Yeah.
I spent all season using that gun going, why does this sound familiar? I know this is a reskin of something. Like, the sound is very distinct. It finally hit me the other day. I'm like, oh god, this is like year one.
We also are getting a Suros adaptive machine gun in Trials, which this is the first time we've ever gotten a Trials machine gun. That's gonna be interesting. Granted, machine guns are still not meta. I don't know why. Like, I think Bungie had an A12 recently. They're worried about buffing machine guns too much, and I'm like, why? Machine guns aren't doing anything. They need more. You need to like I feel like Kylo Ren. You need to keep going more with machine guns until they're actually in a healthy place. We had an overload machine gun all season this season, and it did nothing. It did nothing. And yet people are like, oh, we can't buff machine guns too much. I'm like, why? they need love. They need attention.
Give us Hammerhead
Like,
back.
I wasn't gonna go there, but like we need Hammerhead back.
Yeah, the machine gun's an interesting choice. I mean, I think the hand cannon, right, will get people into trials, but a machine gun, I mean, gotta have something good, right?
Right, like you gotta really give someone something to really mess with that. Like killing tally, maybe. Like if you put killing tally on it, that might be worth going in, because as of right now, the Kingsfall machine gun is the one that has killing tally in the game right now. So that would be a reason to pull up.
The fixed odds also has it.
Oh, does it? Okay, but like, still, that'd be really cool. To like if it was a powerful enough machine gun that killing tally like actually played a factor, that'd be kind of dope. From there, like we are still keeping the bow, the sidearm, the shotgun, and the fusion rifle, but Aisha's Embrace and Reed's we're gonna have left. We have told you guys multiple times the past few weeks to go get those, even if they're not adept and you haven't gone flawless. Just getting a regular with the right combination of perks is still worth it, because while there is a bit of a stat like buff in terms of certain things, the regular gun is still great. Like Aisha's Embrace is still going to be a great weapon for GMs, because like that rapid fire scout rifle being void is so good. So good. So like, please,
it really is.
Even if it's just this weekend, you get a couple of engrams, and even if you get your butt kicked all weekend, and you get a couple of engrams, and you can focus them into a couple of Aishas or a couple of Reeds, do it, please. It's worth it. I'm telling you. Like
Reed's not as much as you get the Aisha's Embrace. Reed's isn't as good as it was because of the fact
nerf.
The div nerf, yeah.
Not even the div nerf, just the fact that we have Taipan now, and it's has the same origin trait, has the same perks, can have enhanced perks. I think the issue with like the thing that people are liking about Reeds right now though is the fact that with certain stasis mods with elemental wells and like those kind of combinations, you can do some dirty shit with Reeds. So Reeds is kind of making a comeback right now that people aren't really paying attention to. Like I know Fallout and the guys over the Massive Breakdowns podcast have been talking about it. So I would recommend like peeking at that, because Reeds is going to come back in a big way. I've been sitting on one for a while. So like if you get that thing, like y'all better get firing line, triple tap. That thing's going to have Vice Stinger. Like it's worth it. So definitely play ball with that.
Great pairing with an Agar Scepter build. That's kind of starting to come up again.
I hope Agar's comes back in a big. I need Trace Rifles to come back in a big way, because Trace Rifles ain't really doing nothing right now.
I need my Trace Rifles back too. I like them.
We are getting the Dark Decider auto rifle, which literally is just the crate with Iron Banner paint, and then we have the return of greatness, the beauty that is Ganora's axe. I'm so excited. Granted, I'm not happy about the fact that we're just getting another friggin' Suros pinpoint slug, but it's Ganora's axe, and I'm okay with it. It's gonna be great. I'm so especially with the pellet changes. I'm so excited. But we'll get to that. But we are losing Forge's Pledge and Reese Walker. Now, Reese Walker has been a beautiful thing for so many seasons now, but now it's been kind of outshined by Wastelander, so it's not as necessary. But if you did get a good Reese Walker during Iron Banner, good job. Forge's Pledge, you ain't really gonna miss it. Like it didn't really have a good perk pool. It was a fun little pulse rifle, but it didn't have the stats weren't that great, and the perk pool wasn't that great. So like, bye. Like I have the God roll sitting in my vault, and I don't even use it. So like, it's fine. Now, you know, and then the Nightfalls, we're like we were talking about, we're getting Wendigo, Hungary, but we're losing Silicon Aroma and Duty Bound. If you have a chance this weekend, grind to Duty Bound. It's worth it.
Silicon Aroma, you didn't miss out on much. It's an okay sniper,
but there's better snipers in the game.
It comes back to the whole crafted gun argument, and it's like you can craft better sniper.
Yeah, at this point you can.
Right now you can't craft. There's no 72 RPM.
That's fair.
But we're about to get Succession, so yeah.
I'm excited.
I feel like I don't ever see people Duty Bound.
Though I'm still very salty about that too, though, because like I busted my ass to get that. I spent like over 500 spoils to get my god roll, and then they're like, "Hey, it's craftable." I'm like,
yay! See, I'm upset about the fact that I have to go get my commemoration again. Yes, I'm not one person who uses commemoration.
There's a lot of people that use commemoration. What do you mean?
I like that gun. It's a good gun.
I mean, it's been the replacement for Hammerhead for a lot of people, so it makes sense. But like,
Reconstruction Rampage is a great combo.
I just got a bunch of them when I was trying to get the sniper to drop. So
yeah, I got rolls of everything going for Heritage, but definitely not stoked to have to grind that out again.
Right. Like now, I will say for posterity, I'm excited it's getting Volt Shot and like you're getting incandescent on the scout rifle. But like other than that, I'm just gonna get my God Roll Succession and my God Roll Heritage, and I'm gonna leave. Like now, what I am excited about is with the craftable potential. Maybe this might be the time that Bequest might become a thing. Like that might be interesting if the Bequest sword finally becomes a thing because of the craftability of it. Like that'd be kind of cool to see.
There is also an interesting, maybe unrelated, an interesting note in there about enhanced cold steel.
Yeah.
And like I don't know that they would change the energy of Bequest, but maybe they give us another sword next season with cold steel on it. It could be an interesting sort of refresh as they make it craftable, right?
Like if the Bequest was a stasis sword, I think that would have been cool.
Ooh,
right. But it came out before they had stasis legendaries, right?
Right, yeah. but then we just saw Aramis use the sword this season in the cutscene. So like that could be a really easy way. Hell, that could be a really easy way to just go back in and make like all the deep stone weapon stasis and just not tell anybody. Like that'd be kind of dope.
Nah, I don't think they should all be stasis.
Commemoration goes from being void to stasis and Toll cries.
I will have it break down. Because I have a build with that and volatility that works really well.
Fair enough. So then they go into the different weapon archetypes. I'm not gonna like. I am very excited. Like the new ritual weapon, it looks like it's a pulse rifle.
Agreed.
I am a pulse rifle whore, and I'm excited. But like,
I hope to put Desperado on it.
I don't. Burn Desperado. Burn.
It's a Haka weapon, right? So it'll be.
Yeah. We know it's a primary.
Impact.
What if it's a stasis?
Could be a stasis.
Especially because they said they're buffing Hake bullets. The Hake origin trait. That'd be great.
A stasis high impact already, so I mean they could double dip.
I will say the new like ornaments for it look freaking savage. This looks like the first frame they've developed from scratch in a hot minute for a gun, and I'm kind of excited about it. I'm not going to touch on the div thing. We already knew about the div nerf. We talked about the div nerf. I'm not like we knew it was happening. I did think it was kind of funny that Proctor straight up said, "Hey, so like if you just shoot tether or tractor cannon, you get your 30% back." And I'm like, "Thanks, Chris. You're proving why the div nerf is meaningless. Thanks." Like. But that's just me.
Hey, thanks, bye.
Right, like you just proved like why the div nerf isn't necessary, but like thanks anyway, guy. Like
thanks for giving hunters a reason to be.
I mean, like, the only thing you're really doing is like stopping power creep and giving hunters existence purpose, but like in reality, you still get the same result. I mean, am I wrong though? Like you can blaze, but like your squall ain't doing shit. You can arc staff it now, which is cool, but like your tether wasn't really doing nothing if div was in the equation. Like, I'm not wrong.
I know, but thanks for giving hunters a purpose. Whatever.
Titan supremacy, but it's fine.
Now, Panda's favorite section.
Shotgun spread. I'm not gonna dwell on this because this is very like photo intensive and like we include the TWAP in the notes, so please make sure you look at it. I am so excited that Bungie finally realized that shotguns having random spreads is stupid because there's so many times that you're wondering, hey, why did I miss that shot? Because your pellet shotgun had a randomness like situation that your pellets didn't actually hit your target. Now we know what the shot is going to be, so you're able to pre-plan. Like aggressives have a specific cone do it, like precisions have an oval, lightweights have a diamond, like rapid fires have a square, which to their credit, they're finally buffing rapid fires in PvE. I say y'all didn't buff them enough because
I was like 5%. 5% isn't nearly enough. I think if they made it like a 15% or 20%, that would have been funny.
Well, my whole thing is similar to the machine gun issue. Y'all spent all season giving us a unstoppable shotgun, acting like we were gonna walk into a GM with a shotgun when there's like no rapid fire shotgun is good enough to even like stand like toe to toe in a GM setting. So that was dumb. But maybe if you would buff shotguns across the board in PvE exponentially and make them worth people's time, that would be worth doing. But I don't know. I really feel like they missed the mark here. Like 5% is cool. You're paying attention, but like that 5 should have been like a 10 or a 15, if not a 20, because like rapid fires ain't doing shit right now, and it's depressing.
Yeah, the spread changes are pretty cool.
So
Cool. I feel like the precision spread may end up being pretty good for PvP. I mean, it's roughly Guardian shaped.
It very much is roughly Guardian shaped too. Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, now I have a reason to go farm my Matador finally because it has a perfect shot package to it.
I mean, it'll be good. Yeah, precisions have kind of been in like a weird spot for a while, right?
Mm-hmm. Hell, Duality's hip fire mode might actually get some use now.
Yep.
Like that might actually be kind of cool. They did say they are going to be nerfing Drang's Zoom for everyone who was worried because Drang's been dominating the Crucible. You can calm down. Drang's Zoom is getting lowered by 1. Relax. Everybody who's been bitching about sidearms, you can calm down. It's fine. Then they said, hey, we hear you about fusion rifles. No, you don't. Because I feel like they're not paying attention when it comes to fusion rifles, the actual issue with fusion rifles, because they're out here like saying like, oh, things like tap the trigger and under pressure and like the ease of use is the issue. No, the ease of well, it's partially the issue because like no matter how much damage someone takes, they can keep holding on to the trigger of a fusion rifle and still hit something. The issue isn't just that. It's the fact that half of a fusion rifle can still miss you and it can still one-shot you if it hits you at all. And that's the issue people have with fusion rifles is that like not like very demonstrably different from sniper rifles and shotguns. Like half of a fusion rifle like spread can hit your foot and you're dead. There's nothing you can do about it. There's no you could have done everything you needed to correctly, and someone could just pull up in a corner, shoot you with a fusion rifle, and you're dead. There's nothing you can do about it. And it's very much a demoralizing situation. So while I applaud Bungie for like paying attention to a certain extent, I feel like they're missing the mark a little bit here just because they're like, hey, we're messing with the hip fire reticle, we're lowering the stability and whatnot. That's great. You're doing some good things. You're changing the ease of use. But I feel like you need to actually look at the internals of the fusion rifles because you even saw things like the Gambit fusion rifle and the Last Wish fusion rifle coming out of left field and one-shotting people when they haven't been used in years. And it's like, what? Come again?
And these changes are just to main ingredient, right? There's nothing for the other fusions. I guess they're just gonna let them run rampant for a bit.
Are they trying to counteract that one god roll that got sold a couple seasons ago?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
That's what they're doing. Yeah, they're trying to like go in and be like, hey, we hear you about main ingredient. Main ingredient's a problem, but they're still not paying attention to the core issue of what's wrong with fusion rifles, in my opinion.
It's just fix the spread. It's easy and it's just redo the spread patterns like you did the shotguns. Maybe not now, but
also like not like whatever's doing it to where the spread like half the spread can miss you and still kill you. That's what I want you to look at. The damage value of each pellet, if need be. Like fix that. But the next thing is glaives. Glaives are actually getting a buff, which That's interesting.
It's it's a mixed bag of both. They're getting buffs and
In
nerfs.
Crucible or just
Like they're
across the board?
Across the board, because they're buffing the projectiles because they weren't really hitting the reliable.
Yeah, no, the hit detection for projectiles needed to be fixed, which is kind of like melee hit recognition when you're just punching someone. That is something that I'm going to start preaching for because it needs to be fixed.
But they are lowering the damage multipliers like when it comes to champions, mini bosses, and bosses on glaives, which that's kind of cool.
No, it's not. That saved our last way run.
Well, that wasn't the damage multiplier. That like in terms of the melee hitting, that like the one time that one of our teammates used the glaive, that was the shield that protected her. That wasn't the damage multiplier of her hitting with the glaive. But in terms of they're reducing the melee base damage from 75 to 67. Which that I don't know how I feel.
Big.
Yeah, that's a big jump.
It protects, I guess, 10 Resil, right?
Right.
I'm assuming that would apply in PvP, but yeah, from a melee blint combo. Yes, yeah.
They are saying they're gonna let Synthocep's Worm God Caress and Winter's Guile work with the glaives now, which that's kind of cool. But we're gonna talk about Worm God and Winter's Guile in a minute because something funny happened, and I'm excited to talk about it. Hand cannons are actually getting a bit of a buff in terms of the lightweights that are now called adaptives. They're increasing. They're specifically with Rose coming back into the game. They're increasing the range of it. They're reducing the stability. They're reducing the handling, and they're giving it an airborne effective value of 20. So that's kind of cool. They're trying to bring Rose into the new format without breaking it, but still keeping it relevant, which is kind of cool to me. I still feel like Rose being the reward and nothing else for comp is a little underwhelming, but they have said on Twitter that they're looking into more rewards as time goes on. So cool. Blinding effects for you photosensitive folks. They are changing Grenade Launcher's, Queenbreaker, and Grand Overture's blinding effects to be similar to the new Arc blinding because they were getting complaints of the issues. So that's cool. Shout out to the photosensitive folk. You got some good shit there.
Queenbreakers.
It's just across the board because they were all using the same effect. Because the Queenbreaker did have a blinding effect to it.
Who's using Queenbreaker still?
I mean, hopefully us if they buff it this season. I would love to use Queenbreaker in something. Dragonfly, Rampage, and Surrounded are all getting like the mods they had. They're just getting infused into the perks. So you're gonna see Dragonfly, Surrounded, and Rampage be buffed across the board because their specs are being put into the guns or into the perks. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like I still don't know how I feel about them degrading mods though. I mean, like can you kind of speak on that, guy? Because like the continued degradation of mods is kind of annoying.
I mean, I think for these ones it's okay because it's to some extent because it really is like a non-choice for some of them. Like I think Dragonfly without Dragonfly spec is kind of useless. Like I don't know, at least from my perspective. And like, yeah, Surrounded without Surrounded spec just kind of feels bad, right? Without the sort of like lingering that happens.
Right.
So I don't know. I think it's a nice buff to these. Fine. It's interesting. And like it opens up more sort of choices for folks that maybe want to run weapons with those perks on them. Now they may not feel like they have to run the spec mod, run something else.
A targeting adjuster, maybe. Like we actually have a little bit of variety there. I said variety. What's variety? But whatever. There. Words are hard.
I know in the past we've talked about it being stupid about the mod pool and how they should just give everybody the mods. Do you think this might be their way for trying to phase out the mod system entirely?
Possibly. I mean, like,
they're already too deep in. They can't
get rid of the whole system. I think they're trying to make it somewhat easier when it comes to certain mods, if that makes sense. Like you're not going to see Charge with Light get nuked, but you're going to see like the gun mods maybe kind of come down a little bit, maybe.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Like, yeah. That's my thought process. We already talked about, they are buffing Air Assault. Air Assault is getting a full rework. Specifically, we are going to see Headseeker get changed fully over, which I'm excited about because Headseeker wasn't really doing a whole lot before now. And now they're like, hey, body shots now increase your precision multiplier, like increase your aim assist. That's really freaking cool. Like, I'm down because Headseeker pulse rifles are fun. Encore is finally doing a thing because Encore has just been sitting in the back shed for a couple of years now, and no one's really giving a crap. So Encore is actually going to work now where Final Blows now grant stacks of it, and the stacks grant you stability, range, and accuracy bonuses. So dope there.
Long time coming, I feel.
Because no, Encore ain't been doing nothing. Now here's a little suspicious. Seraph rounds, which for those who don't know, that was specifically with the 7 Seraph and Ikelos weapons, will be appearing on more weapons next season. But in its current form, it's the strongest magazine perk by a large margin. So we've pulled it back a little bit and made it more of a trade-off to where they've removed 10% of the range scaler, but now offers +7 stability and +3 range. So I'm wondering, well, not me, the community is wondering if this kind of confirms what everyone's been thinking, that we're getting an Anna Bray Warmind season and we're bringing back 7 Seraph weapons and Ikelos weapons. And hell, even today, Xur showed up with the 7 Seraph armor for everybody. So I'm like, what's going on? But
not subtle at all.
Like, what's going on? And like, I'm very much like, it'd be really nice, Bungie, if you just put bars back and not just let it be the throne world and we could have Escalation Protocol back. But I don't see that happening. But like, as much as Paul Tassi wants us to happen, I don't see it happening.
I mean, it'd be awesome, right? If it is, a season around that, and these end up being the crafted sort of weapons for the season, maybe. I don't know.
Have to bust ass to play Escalation Protocol to get friggin' the weapons back. That'd be so.
No.
But I mean, it's a little bit of a shame about the range scaler. I mean, I know Seraph rounds have been like loaded, because right, they give you ricochet rounds and high cal, and they had like this weird sort of zoom sort of multiplier.
It gave you everything.
It really did.
Now here's the one I'm not really feeling. Tunnel Vision plus Kill Clip not being and Kill Clip not being refreshable while active has always been an issue. So what they're doing is they're making Tunnel Vision and Kill Clip able to be refreshed like upon reload easily, faster. So like you can like get Kill Clip, shoot something else, kill it, reload, refresh Kill Clip. And same thing with Tunnel Vision. But then alongside that with Kill Clip, they're reducing the Kill Clip damage bonus from 33% to 25%. That is steep. Like, I understand your thought process, Bungie, because they don't want you reprocking and getting a 33% damage bonus every time you reproc. But, like, that's a steep drop from 33 to 25. Like, maybe 33 to 30 might have been okay, but that at 25 is like, you're gunning a lot of guns potential, like 120 hand cannons, pulse rifles, scout rifles. You're gunning a lot right there for no reason.
And like the thing is, like, you can proc it off itself now. You just have to be quick on like swapping to the other weapon and then swapping back and then reloading. Like, you can keep it running. And so really, I feel at the high level, it's just kind of a flat nerf to Kill Clip. And it's gonna.
I don't know how I feel. I'm upset, but I'm very much like, I get it. Like I hear you, but I'm not happy about
it. I mean, compared to the other sort of damage perks, it did sort of make it like a non-choice, right? If a weapon has Kill Clip versus some other like multi-kill clip or rampage or something, people are gonna kill clip, right? Because it's just free 33% damage.
Exactly. And then with they're actually like with the return of the Deep Stone crit weapons, they took a look at redirection, and they're now making redirection where it stacks against red bar enemies and consumes them like everywhere else. So like they're making it so redirection has more benefit now against weaker enemies versus strong white enemies, which is kind of cool because it gives redirection a purpose rather than not really like needing to be had on certain guns. So that's kind of cool. From there, but in terms of buffs, this one I'm not okay with. I'm not okay with it. Toll, I'm not okay with this. Why are they doing this? No.
I read it. So if you're wondering what it is, Hake Breach Armaments is now getting a damage buff to dealing damage to Ward of Dawn, Well of Radiance, and Stasis Crystals in PvP.
It's getting 30% and then 60% with an artifact mod. We're getting.
So we know we're going to be getting an artifact mod for Hake Breach Armaments again.
That tells me that literally Bubble and Well are not going to be usable this season. Like that's terrifying.
Well, that means so if you have that, you'll probably if you're running that new gun, you're going to be getting those extra buffs.
That means like legitimately, I'm going to run like Arc or Solar in Trials like all season because that's just disgusting. You legitimately are gutting Bubble Titans in PvP. It's just like.
What about Well Warlocks?
Both of those supers are pretty strong, especially in like Trials, right? With their cooldown, a lot of games can kind of come down to.
I mean, I can agree with that.
First.
I can agree with that, especially with the capture weekends. Like Bubble has been kind of dominant. But otherwise, there was enough counters to Bubble. Like I've killed Titans out of Bubbles. I've been able to shoulder charge them,
yeah,
with their hordes of things. Like there was ways
1-2
to
punch
counter
shoddy. Yeah,
right.
Of course. It does add some extra sort of like counterplay.
So it just feels very odd. But like we'll see how it goes. We'll have to revisit it at some point. But like
testing will need to be done next week to see how.
Right, like if we load in a random hot like if Toll has a Perseus D and I pop a bubble and he like breaks it in 3 shots, I'm gonna be pissed. That's all I'm saying. It's not gonna
be 3 shots. It's gonna be 4.
Gutshot Straight is actually being buffed from 10 to 20 on auto rifles, which Gutshot Straight was always a really interesting perk when it came out this past season. But for you to only buff it on auto rifles when like Gutshot Straight's kind of trash across the board, I'm kind of like,
you can't hit shots.
It's very odd. Now, the one I'm excited about is Compulsive Reloader because Compulsive Reloader is getting dropped a little bit to where it works at the half of the bag and not just like the first third of the bag. I'm like, that's interesting. Like, I'm down.
Yeah, I could make it a viable pick, maybe. It just, I think it doesn't do too much. Let me
it has a lot of potential to be worth putting on certain weapons, which I'm very excited about. High impact frames. I was gonna cut you off. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no. Go ahead.
High impact frames, intrinsic perk can be hard to use, so they're now allowing a small amount of movement instead of turning off any movement. Like when it comes to certain weapons when crouching or strafing, so that's kind of cool, I guess. Ambitious Assassin's getting messed with a little bit because Ambitious Assassin got buffed too hard on primaries, which okay, that's fine. Well-rounded's actually be getting a buff because like well-rounded really is a dumb perk, so cool. They're making it so stacking the effect resets the timer and like increases the timer from 10 to 15. Recombination is getting a buff, which I find kind of cool. Yeah, like that one I'm very excited about because it may actually give it worth time in PvP because
50%.
That's a lot.
It's golden tricorn. Yeah.
Yeah, recombination might actually do a thing this season. I'm very excited about it. Zen Moment provides extraordinary strong reduction in recoil, but is still missing like a couple issues, and it's not sustaining right. So it doesn't deactivate on missing a shot now, which is kind of cool. So dope. Rewind rounds actually works with the Divinity Cage now. That's fucking dope. I thought that was already fixed, but good on Bungie for finally addressing that. And then they're working on fixing some of the origin perks like One Quiet Moment and Gun and Run, which I find even dope. Like we already mentioned,
skip the Genesis.
Go ahead and speak on it.
Oh, okay. So Genesis is always refilled weapon ammo on breaking shields in PvE, but it hasn't been in PvP. So now it's going to trigger on a shield break in PvP.
That's terrifying.
I think that could be really good.
That's terrifying. I didn't even see that. Oh my god. Okay. That's that. Wow. You might actually come to pass do a thing this season. So we talked about box breathing. Unstoppable Force is getting a damage reduction from 30 to 20. Now here's the nerf that I want to talk about, because I have preached it for months. Y'all motherfuckers thought I was crazy. Not my castmates. They're fine. I'm talking about y'all, the internet. Y'all thought I was crazy. And look what happened. I said that all you Worm God Syntho set 1-2 punch Titans were a problem, and that was the reason why Solar 3.0 was underwhelming for Titans. And look what happened. They finally admitted that 1-2 punch and Worm God was a problem, and they're nerfing it into the ground. Because not only are you getting a drop from 3 times to 2 times versus most enemies and on power melees, you're getting a drop from 1.8 to 1.4 when it comes to against a charge melee, and your damage bonus gets dropped from 0.5 to 0.25 when it comes from 1-2 punch. And then if we scroll down a little bit real quick just to prove my point, they're even dropping freaking Worm God Caress and what was the other one? Freaking Winter's Guile. They're cutting them fully in half in terms of their damage, which, holy crap, I was right. I'm excited. And now, Bungie, you can go back in and fix Solar 3.0 for Titans and actually let us do something instead of being afraid of bonk Titans. Thanks, Bungie.
I do wonder how much of this is like a preventative nerf with the with Glaives working with them now.
Ooh, that's true.
Because we have seen them do that kind of before, right?
Right. And even recently there was people combining freaking the Void Shield Bash with Worm God to fucking like one shot or like super fast kill different bosses in one and low mans. And I'm just like, no, now it's gone because it was never supposed to work like that. So bye. Like, we're taking it away because you abused it. Good job. Proud of you. So very satisfying on my regard. Very, very happy. They did fix a lot of things when it comes to the enhanced perks. They also are fixing the 2xs opulent weapon origin trait. That way it triggers across multiple weapons and it doesn't display a stacking counter on the UI. So that's dope. But there's a lot of enhanced changes that we are going to go into like super in depth. But like Kat did mention, we are like addressing enhanced cold steel, which that's kind of cool to see. We are kind of like nerfing and buffing things across the board. So I'm very excited to see what happens with this season, where like they actually are going in and changing a lot of things when it comes to enhanced perks. So crafting is going to get a bit of a buff. So I'm down for it. Jade Rabbit got its whole freaking perk rechanged. So Jade Rabbit Emperor is probably jumping for joy.
Whoa. You're skipping over the most important part of the TWAB.
Speak on it, Toll. Speak on it.
They're changing my baby.
What you mean?
Not just my baby. They're fixing the fundamentals perk entirely. They're basically making it so it now has elemental capacitor for each different subclass.
What Toll is saying now is Borealis might actually have a reason to exist.
Oh, and then Borealis did get a buff. Breaking a match shield now refills the magazine from reserves and allows your next 5 shots to deal bonus damage not deactivated by reloading.
You and the 5 other people are super excited about this, Toll.
Yay!
Like, I just... He keeps trying to make Borealis a thing, and I'm like, stop trying to make fetch a thing. It's not going to happen. It's not. But like, though, I am a little worried about these changes because they're giving solar of the fundamental 20 airborne effectiveness, and I'm like, so you just gave like every PvP main who uses Dead Messenger a go ahead to just rotate to solar and then hop in the air. So like, good job.
Hard Light has a base 31 airborne effectiveness. So on solar, this could take it up to 51. That's
and on Void, 20 stability is going to bring it back to where it used to be when it had 100 stability. That's going to be.
Yep.
That's scary. Hard Light might become meta. I'm a little worried.
Although I guess they haven't changed it deactivating after you die. So
yeah,
that's still annoying.
So that's very scary. Then here's the one that not everyone's too thrilled about, because they did announce that for some reason, including Divinity, Witherhorde and Arbalest are the most used guns in high-end PvE, and Jotun, Forerunner, and Witherhorde are the most used guns in PvP, which thankfully they didn't say anything about Jotun and the TWAB, even though it was the third highest, so whew, thank God. But for Witherhorde fans everywhere, we're finally seeing it get a bit of a nerf. Not too much. We're not nerfing the damage. We're just low. Like I know I saw like RIP Witherhorde across all the fucking social media the past 2 days, but like it ain't that bad. They're just they're lowering the portal duration from 7.5 to 4.5, which is damn near half. But they're not nerfing the damage. They're not nerfing anything else. They're just nerfing the duration, which isn't that bad. This could have been so much worse. It could have been Anarchy nerf levels of bad, but we're not doing that. So calm down. It's okay. And then Arbalest, they're fixing its freaking like it's a shot. It's body damage reduction. That way it matches the little red nerf. So all you people out here still using Arbalest in PvP, you can get out of here. Now the one nerf that I'm really not feeling, and I need Bungie to stop, is they're nerfing Gjallarhorn again. They're nerfing the primary rocket's detonation damage, but keeping Wolfpack rounds the same. This is twice now in a year you've nerfed Gjallarhorn since its release. You nerfed it because of Gambit recently, and now you're nerfing it again. Stop. Like I know you're trying to like make it on the same level. That way, it's a tool with other legendaries. But Gjallarhorn is supposed to be a monster. Let it be a monster. Stop trying to make it lesser or equal to other rocket launchers.
Be a monster.
What?
Eyes of Tomorrow.
Ugh.
Eyes of Tomorrow has been irrelevant for so long. It's not even funny.
I'm surprised that wasn't on the list of things that got buffed, especially with us going back to Deepstone, but I guess not. But you know, then they do talk about how they're like making the full auto thing on fucking Switch and not a mod. I still have my confliction about that, but from an accessibility point, yay.
I think it's gonna be awesome. There's a lot of archetypes I feel like I haven't been able to use, like the super fast firing sidearms, right?
Right.
That'll be good.
My biggest issue is we have situations like recently with what's the one pulse rifle that everyone hates and I always forget the name? Peace of Mind. Like everyone hates Peace of Mind in PvP because the thing that people do is they just strap a full auto mod to it. They don't fire it like it's a real pulse rifle. So you see people just abusing this gun because it's a high RPM and they can slap a pulse rifle, there's a full auto to it. So it's damn near an auto rifle, and they're defeating the purpose of it being a pulse rifle. And it's just like, I would understand if you actually needed it for accessibility reasons, but this is like, when everybody across the board is using it for that reason, my brain just kind of goes, So that's my concern, is that people are like using the full auto setting maliciously and not because they actually need it. But across the board, I still think it's a really good thing because accessibility matters in video games. Prospector is getting chain reaction added to it.
I feel like you're walking over the important one that
I don't want to talk. I don't want to.
You don't want to talk about Darcy?
I don't want to talk about Darcy or Whisper. I'll talk about DMT. DMT has been dead for so long. And DMT, they're trying to buff it after they dug its grave. And I don't know how I feel about it. They're like, hey, we're going to fix it a little bit. We're going to change it and like fix the perk a little bit. That way it actually works like a little bit better. And my thing is, you literally dug its grave and nerfed it into the ground. And now you're like trying to hand us its bones on a platter to fix it. And I'm just like, what have you done to my cowboy gun? What, like, just put it back. Just put it back to where it was. You didn't need to do this. But
I think if it works and like it feels kind of stickier from the hip than hitting those crits, right? Like it could be cool, right? With the like it fires 180 right now from the hip.
Right.
I don't know, kind of letting loose, popping heads. I get the idea.
Yeah, like, and it could be really cool. I just think my issue with it was Bungie acknowledged the reason why it was dominant was because of mouse and keyboard players, and they nerfed it, and then people were good. Like, it wasn't that high on the leaderboard anymore. It was fine. And then Bungie said, we're like reworking the whole gun. And we're like, why? Why did you do this? There was no reason for this. So it just, those kind of choices concern me. But like, I'm still excited about some of the stuff. Now, here's the thing that Toll talked about. Darcy and Whisper of the Worm are having their airborne effectiveness put at 80. And I'm like, Bungie, who in all of Whoville is freaking using Darcy and Whisper of the Worm in PvP that they're jumping up in the air trying to use Whisper of the Worm and Darcy in PvP? Like, I really want to know, like, who grabbed heavy, like, and really thought, I'm going to kill the whole squad with Whisper of the Worm. Like, I really want to know. Like, I don't know.
I mean, I feel like they just created a really funny mini game of like trying to hit the whisper perk all in air.
Yep.
I mean, I guess, but it's just like, and they even acknowledge that there's been like the request to make Whisper and Darcy special weapons in the TWAB, but they're like, nah, we're just gonna buff its airborne effectiveness. And I'm like, what are you what? So just I don't know. I'm very excited that Prospector's getting chain reaction. You might actually see some Prospector gameplay this season, which is kind of dope. Very excited about that. Fourth Horseman is getting its freaking recoil rebalanced, so that's freaking dope. They're buffing Forerunner in PvE, and they're nerfing it in PvP. Let's go. Let's go. Hype train, hype train, hype train. Like, they even acknowledged, hey, we kind of over buffed it in PvP, so we're turning that down. And I'm like, thank God.
Cool.
And we get to use the rock a little bit more.
Yeah,
right?
they're actually trying to make you use the grenade a little bit more if you have the catalyst, which is kind of dope. Like, I enjoy that idea of you just like popping off with the random rock out of nowhere.
Wait, what?
So like
the catalyst.
So like the whole point of the gun is like, if you like, I believe if you get enough shots, it lets you throw it like a frag grenade from Halo as the big like extra thing if you get enough kills. So if you have the catalyst, so like they're buffing it a little bit to make it worth using in PvE.
Oh, cool. Merciless is getting
decreased charge time on a hit. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Rat King is getting its perk radius dropped from increased from 15 to 20. Legend of motherfucking Acreus is getting its movement penalty removed And the best thing, and the gloriousness, and you will see me using this motherfucker all season. Bastion is getting a buff. They're reducing the spread angle because they admitted they nerfed it too much. And I'm like, thank God. Thank you so much. I can use my baby again. Oh, so excited.
And then
as long as it's not bad.
I want it bad. I want it to be a bad bitch. Like, let me have my gun back. Like, I need my Bastion back. So good.
They're taking and killing all my guns. I'm calling favoritism, Panda.
What you mean? You've been silent. Talk about it.
There's nothing to say, and the TWAB is so beefy with all the nerfs and or buffs of things that are getting done. You guys have already heard me rant about DMT in the past. They're fucking with Drang. I'm not.
Well, the reason why they're dropping Drang Zoom is that like it's literally been dominant in Crucible the past 2 weeks. Like ever since they had the buff, it's been the one gun on full auto that's been raining hell on everyone. So they admitted they buffed it a little too much, and they're cranking the Zoom down by 1. So like they're trying to level it out a little bit, that way it's not too dominant. It's not like they're nerfing it into the ground. They're just going, hey, we see we turned you up a little too much. We're gonna dial that a little bit back.
Whatever.
It could be worse.
Whatever.
You just salty to be salty. It seemed like what's up?
It was like a cool, unique part of the weapon, right? But yeah, I feel like folks, like, we all kind of predicted this once they started talking about like out of band Zoom stats like a couple seasons back. Like it was just a matter of time.
Yeah.
Right. They are changing the rockets in Quicksilver from arc to kinetic. So everyone who's been abusing the arc rockets all season, that's fixing. Cold Heart's getting a change to its ionic trace.
Hang on, I want to loop back. The reason they're fixing that is because it'll cause problems with the catalyst.
Oh, which is cool. Fair enough. Cold Heart, the rework that I had wasn't really giving you enough ionic traces, so they're buffing the ionic traces on Cold Heart. Grand Overture is getting its missile damage increased by 50%. That's a lot. Oh my god. This one I'm not really I don't know how I feel about, because they're fucking with Xenophage. They're fucking with Xenophage.
They're not fucking with it.
They're fucking with it.
This is a good thing. So now it'll properly deal damage on bosses that it normally wouldn't deal damage on. Because
but
now
it's doing half the impact damage though.
And the rest is to detonate the regular explosion damage. This is a good change.
We'll see.
It's just gonna work like explosive payload now, instead of just being all detonation.
Okay, I might have to go hang out with Carl and test it before Tuesday. See how that goes. So on Nessus, the specific law sector, there's a specific law sector boss Cabal called, like, he's a champion called Carl the Cabal that everyone goes and tests their damage on. Okay. So I'll think I'll test on Carl. What's going on? Armor wise, Worm Gods get nerfed. I don't know why Winter's Guile's getting nerfed, but Worm Gods get nerfed it to the ground. So,
they basically do the almost same exact thing, so it's more just bringing similarity into line,
I guess. But we are nerf the Bong Titans. Bong Titans bad. I was right. Y'all were wrong. Ha ha ha. But that's just me. Now here's the concerning thing. Gear Falcon. Now the wording here is bothersome. I tweeted Mercules about it. Hopefully we can get some context down the road. But it says, like, here's a sneak peek to what we are going to be giving a clear identity to the void space of PvP, and it's going to like change the Gear Falcon perk where it says gain volatile rounds when exiting invisibility while executing a finisher while invisible. This exotic now gives nearby allies a reserve overshield and give the wearer a temporary bonus to weapon damage. Now, it doesn't say they're getting rid of the existing perk where it boosts the damage of the user. It doesn't say if it's removing it or not. So my concern is, are we removing that bonus, or are we legitimately just adding more perks to an exotic that's already a bait in the Crucible?
I'm assuming they're removing it, especially because they mention how you have to get a finisher to get a temporary bonus to weapon damage, right?
Right. Okay, like because I legit like if it's the case where this is the new perk, great, because the reign of the shadow demons needs to stop. Like first we had the Omni issue, then they're like, hey, we're gonna give you another exotic that lets you do stuff invisible, and I'm just like, what? Didn't we just do this last season? Like can we stop? It just so hopefully that's being addressed. They are doing some cool stuff with like in the future they're gonna like rebalance heavy weapons. They're gonna try to like fix the DPS meta, which that sounds like we're gonna like see either a rework or a nerf to Lanier's, which cool, because I'm tired of a Lanier meta for endgame DPS. They are looking to add more subclass 3.0 verbs to some exotics, so that's very dope. But yeah, so and then they're rebalancing airborne effectiveness, like we already talked about, so that's dope. Now, the thing that like everyone's kind of talking about is the fact that they're changing Void Hunter's invis to where it's more detectable on radar, and that's cool. I'm excited because I'm tired of y'all. I'm tired of y'all sneaky little people. Y'all need to stop. It's a pain in my butt.
Yeah,
Total.
and
no, go ahead, Kat. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I feel like I'm
Oh, no.
too much.
no, I'm talking way too much. So like, you can definitely chime in.
I mean, I think I guess I don't need to add that, you know, Invis is kind of reigned over the Crucible for a little too long. I think it is interesting because it's a nerf to the invisible person's own radar, right? So like they get to manipulate other people's radar, but now their own radar is like enclosed a little more. I don't know if it'll change things. It just kind of widens the skill gap, right?
Right. So we'll see how that goes down the road, but like the invis meta needs to go.
Yeah.
Now artifact mods. Here's some fun stuff that's going on. They didn't say specifically other than one. They said we're getting anti-champion mods for hand cannons, scout rifles, bows, pulse rifles, and auto rifles. My big hope is we're keeping anti-barrier scout, we're keeping overload bow, and not reversing them because that would suck. And we're getting overload hand cannon back because I would love overload hand cannon back. Because you know how fun that was, just walking through fucking GMs with an explosive payload hand cannon and just going bap, bap, bap. Like,
I
nothing
want
beats it.
Anti-barrier submachine gun and auto rifle.
Nah.
Yes.
Anti-barrier submachine gun is so bad. I've done it. It's not fun. It's not fun, though. Like, anti-barrier auto's fine, but you need something like anti-barrier scout or like sniper to balance it. You can't, like, anti-barrier SMG does not sound fun.
So it'll probably be overload.
Yeah, like if we go back to where it's like overload SMG auto rifle together, I can definitely get behind that. But what we do know we're getting is
unstoppable grenade launcher.
We're getting unstoppable grenade launcher back, and oh boy, the return of breach and clear, and it's gonna work with Void 3.0. And I'm like, oh baby, like
it's
bro,
probably gonna give volatile.
Season of the Splicer was the shit, bro. Like, y'all don't understand.
I think, but
like,
you're missing out on the most important one.
I don't care about loose and finish. That just means we're gonna have bricks upon bricks of heavy on the ground.
Exactly.
Like, that's all that is. Like, and then like passive guards gonna work with glaive next season, which is kind of cool. But no, like breach and clear, like y'all don't understand. Season of the Splicer, you like pulling up on dungeon and raid bosses, like teaching people how to get through Atheon back then, like right when it first came out, was just so sexy.
I think it'll be easy or interesting to see now that Anarchy's kind of fallen out of meta, like where Breach and Clear fits in.
But this could be the return of Anarchy. The greatness can return.
I don't know if they'll ever return it back to its former glory.
I mean, they just buffed heavy GLs across the board this past season, so we could see Anarchy come back. And now that Prospector has chain reaction, oh boy, it's gonna be a nice season. It's gonna, like, I posted a TikTok about it with the Ice Cube clip. I'm like, yo, thank God that the gangster's back. Like, we about to party. It's about to be all season. And like all these people that were worried about the Witherhorn nerf, nah, bro, that we gonna have fun all season. It just means we gotta pump more balls into the boss after like 4 seconds instead of 7 seconds. We gotta pump more balls. Just like pop, reload, pop, reload. Like, don't even worry about that, homie. Like 7 seconds, nah, it's cool. It's cool. 4 seconds, we can do that. Pop, pop. Like, it don't matter. It's gonna be fun. Don't worry about it. It's GL season, hands down. We are partying. It's gonna be great. Toll, how you feeling, my boy?
I'm feeling good.
That's all you got for me? You feeling good? Really? Really?
Yeah, that's all I got. That's it.
I can't stand you. Priz, how you feeling? You've been silent laughing. How you feeling? We've been talking about a lot of stuff. How you feeling about all this stuff?
It feels kind of like it's another PvP sort of heavy twab. So, as someone who has been out of the PvPers,
there's a lot of PvE changes.
You know, I look at mods from like I have to use it to really get a feel for it kind of thing. So, I won't have like a better opinion about things until next season, and I can actually get my hands on it. But this
understandable.
I would like to see Anarchy make a big comeback, but I will believe it when I see it.
You about to see me pulling up and just shoot like, ding, like just everywhere. Like, it's just gonna be everywhere, and I'm so excited. They did announce the versions of Arbalest that for the community to vote on. If you do not get the Bungie emails, they did say there's a link in the TWAB to vote on these different versions of the Arbalest ornament. Personally, I'm feeling the Black Armory one, but y'all do what you want.
Say that.
I know a lot of people are feeling the Synthwave version, but I'm feeling the Black Armory. That's just me. The historic one's kind of meh. So, hashtag vote Black Armory.
Like Black Armory is very like red and black. Got it, but I like the Synthwave one.
Fair enough. So like this was a beefy TWAB, and we kind of we even skipped over a good chunk of it, but like just be ready for a lot of cool changes and like be excited, y'all. We have a new season coming out, new content, new fun shit, and I will admit, like Bungie has some stuff to work on. But like, this isn't the end of the game. I really feel like we need to emphasize that. This isn't the end of the game. There's a lot of good, exciting stuff coming on the pipeline, and we just need to be excited about it. Like, it's not all doom and gloom, dang flabbit.
Did we want to talk about the community opinion / outcry recently?
I mean, yeah, like we've been talking about it. I know, like where it kind of rose up a lot this past like 2 weeks was because, like, especially with the Elixni event that just happened. Which, for those who haven't been paying attention, the whole point of the Elixni community event was you did different activities to get treasure coins, then you would turn them in. But then the community found out how to break it in the first 24 hours, so they beat 25. The whole community event in the first 25 hours. So that was a thing, but like but then people were kind of upset because like the community event didn't really do much to the Elixni Quarter besides like a staircase and some plants and some stuff in the bar that apparently was already there in the cutscene. So like that's a concern, and like there was some benches. So like I hear them, and then a lot of people are just like straight up upset that it doesn't feel like Bungie really gives a crap right now. And like they're over here saying like, oh, Bungie's like starting to not prioritize Destiny. They're working on new IPs for Sony. And I'm like, I don't think that's the case. Like, they're not just going to abandon Destiny, the thing that got them where they were to where Sony could buy them. Like, I don't think that's the case. They're even like, hey, we're hiring new positions all the time. We want new people at the company. I don't think they're just gonna say like abandon Destiny and be like, we don't care anymore. They're over here talking about they want Destiny to go on for the next like 5-10 years. Over like we have plans after Lightfall, all this other stuff, and plans after Final Shape. Like I don't see Destiny dying anytime soon. So that's just my 2 cents. I think the community needs to like reset their expectations, stop thinking the game is dying just because of a few changes. I will admit the game is trying really hard to cater to casual players without really fixing the casual player experience. Like they're over here like changing PvP to make it easier in some gears.
I said, or the new light experience and the lack thereof.
That's what I'm saying. Like they're catering to casuals in certain degrees, but not giving casuals a good gateway into the game. That's my biggest concern is like you're over here saying like all these commentators are like, oh, Bungie only cares about the new players because they're trying to get people in, but there's no way to keep player retention. And I'm like, I hear you, but like Bungie can't even fix the new light quest and tell Shahan to eat a dick. Like we can't even get there. Why are we assuming Bungie cares only about the casual player? Like if Bungie only cared about the casual player, they wouldn't have made the whole dungeon themed around Callus. They wouldn't have brought the Leviathan back in the way they did. Like they're rewarding their longtime player base. They're not just saying screw you guys, or like screwing us rather. They're not saying screw us. They're trying to bring new people in, and then they're trying to fix certain things as they go. But I will admit, we kind of have reached a tipping point where the giant snowball has accumulated a lot of baggage for people, and now they're just like flat out bitching. So I just think everyone needs to just take a breath and see what happens next week, see what the story is, see what's going to happen, and play it by ear, and not just be like, we need to like yell at Bungie till we're blue in the face. Because man, if you look at the Bungie forums right now, like the Bungie help forums, that's a scary place. Like I did it for a laugh, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is a scary place." So, just people being really shitty to the devs, people like just bitching constantly. Like half of it is just people bitching about airborne effectiveness. To be honest,
yeah,
there was a lot of homophobic shit I saw. So
there's also just the homophobes. We ignore them.
Because like there's the people bitching about the Saint Osiris thing. Also, so all of you people, I'm not who didn't realize Saint 14 was an EXO. Are you okay? Like, do we need to have like? Are you? What's going on? Like, y'all knew Kate 6 was an EXO. Why didn't you know that Saint 14 was an EXO? Like, I just. Also, no one cares, and also, hey, Priz. No one cares that a human kissed a robot. Calm down.
No.
I see you on Twitter. Stop it.
I only have one problem with that, and it's just that Saint has the best lips because he didn't bite off Osiris's lip.
So I told you.
He's got the best lips. Because
he's got
such precise control to do that.
I only started going on that because I knew it would bother you. But like I told you, it all relates back to my partner and my role play in the character species that they created that is also robotic and doesn't have lips. So they use other forms of like physical contact or gestures to show affection in place of kissing, because kissing doesn't really work if you don't have lips. And just the fact that they gave it like such a like sound effect, it's like bro come on.
Bruh, Clovis made some complex robots. Let's just say that, okay? Like, let's leave it at that. We don't gotta like complicate things. Like, Clovis made some complex robots. That's all we gotta say. Like, everyone's out here tripping and whatnot. Now, to all these people who out here like saying like all the homophobes and whatnot, this whole podcast is queer hosted. Y'all should know this by now. no one gives a fuck. Sane 14 is my hero. Osiris is my dad-in-law. I don't give a fuck. Like, we chill up in here. If y'all got a problem, you can see your ass out. Like, that's all I'm gonna say on that. We've said what we needed to say before. Like, I'm not worried about the drama. Like, y'all know what this is. That's all it is. Like, I read the, like, especially the Instagram comment section. Y'all trifling. Like, I'm really tired of it. Like, it started off with just a couple of dumb dudes going, I just thought they were brothers in arms, to
just like
just straight slurs.
It
was just disgusting.
Like, come on.
They were it's so dumb. And they were roommates. Like, so I don't know. I mean, like, yeah. Sorry, Kat. I don't like bitching over here, but like,
no.
Just like I'm so sick of it. Like, and just it was so blatant too. Just like people being so shitty. Like I remember seeing one comment on Facebook where dude was like, my nephew, like who plays Destiny, like called me and said he wasn't really happy with Saint kissing Osiris because it felt icky. And I'm like, what the fuck? What? Like he was all like I just don't think two masculine men should be kissing. I'm like, first of all, y'all need to get this femme stereotype out of my face, because if you knew the amount of amazing masculine men who like just have the time of their lives with other masculine men, you would be so bothered, and it'd be so funny to watch. But like there are gay athletes. There are masculine and feminine gay athletes across the board. There's different types of gay. Like, who cares, bro? Like the normativity needs to go. That's all I'm saying. Like, we are like, this whole game takes place in a post-apocalyptic world. If the gay robot wants to have fun with the gay man, let them have fun. Like, we're beyond it at this point. Like, if Drifter wants to screw everything in the galaxy, let him. Like, who cares? Like, I'm done. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, that's just that's how I'm gonna end that little rant. But you know, I do want to thank Kat once again for being here. Like, not only do we want to spotlight what you have going on, but like your opinion was very much appreciated. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me on.
I must say, like, we like, you definitely have a place here whenever you want to come by. Like, especially next season with different weapons changes, we're excited to see, you know, like how you feel about certain things. So we definitely want to have you back at the point.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Most deaf. Hell yeah. Don't forget, folks, that you listen to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, YouTube, basically everywhere. I know like most of our audience is on Spotify, which shout out to the like 55 people who named us your number one podcast on Spotify, because it was in our Spotify rap stats. So like, shout out to y'all. But like, that was pretty dope. And some people, like, there was like 100 more people put us in your top 5. So shout out to y'all. But like, we're just excited to grow. We're excited to have more guests, and we're excited for another season of Destiny. And Lightfall's coming. We're excited. Hopefully, we wake up on Tuesday and Anna Bray is knocking on our door saying, "Let's have some fun." Like, because that's what everyone's speculating, is that Anna Bray and Osiris are going to show. Not Osiris, fucking Rasputin. So hopefully, we get some fun times on Tuesday. So just get ready for that. Toll, what is your closing statement for this week?
Melee hit recognition needs to be fixed. There are too many times where I go and I try to punch something as a Titan, and I whiff, and I'm point blank. Bungie, this is a serious issue, and it needs to be fixed.
Where did this come from?
It's something I've been meaning to talk about for a long, long time, and
You've had so many opportunities to talk during this podcast, and you just brought this out now. Like, what?
Yeah, because we had a beefy twab.
Priz, what is your closing statement?
Well, for one, maybe we just exist on different spheres, but I've seen a bunch of people talking about how they want Rasputin to show up in a hot exo body, like underlining the hot. I'm just like, okay, guys, I need you to take a breath. Also, something that I don't see a lot of people talk about from the cutscene this week is about how Mithrax was both able to somehow manipulate Nezarek's essence, but in the cutscene, he like clasps his head, and they like really specifically start shading his character model different, and it talks about him being able to see the ley lines, which the only other person we've kind of heard talk about that is Mara. I haven't seen anybody talk about it because everybody's been super happy about the Saint Osiris kiss, which I get. I feel like there's potential and foreshadowing there. Also,
the Nezarec coffee memes have been so great. The Nezarec coffee memes.
I was talking to Falcon about that too. It was just like, you don't drink Essence of Disciple, and there are no consequences that come from this.
No, because like if you watch Bive's video about it, we'll talk about this real quick. Like if you watch Bive's video, Bive made it very, very clear because we talked about the fact that like the idea of you being in like combined with the essence of someone who had control over primal darkness and you being lost in the primal darkness. Because if you read the lore tabs for some of the trials exotics for the trials armor and Sparrow for the season, you kind of get an idea of like what's like Osiris was trapped in. So for Mithrax to pull out like primal darkness to help him clear his thoughts and reawaken his mind, it makes a lot of sense. I'm not saying there won't be consequences, and there's consequences. The people are gonna riot because Osiris being taken over multiple times.
And I was like, you don't drink extra spicy darkness juice, and there are no consequences from it. And so I was just like, I'm being realistic. There is something's gonna happen in the future. Mark my words. I guarantee it. And if it doesn't,
Some people are saying that might just lead to like Osiris getting like a darkness ghost and him getting like Strand. I could get behind that. I'd be so down for that.
It
like
would potentially
that,
make
like
sense
that's your
depending on how they twist it. I just, I guess that kind of turned into a wholesome conversation. It's not what I meant. For it to turn into final thought for the day. Please stop bitching about the game. There, I've said it.
Kat, is there anything you want to leave with the folks with this week?
Not really. I guess check out D2Foundry.
Almost definitely. It'll definitely be included in the show notes for people to check out. So definitely check that out. And then my thing is like same thing as Priz. Just give them some time. We have like 3 months until Lightfall.
What I remember. What I actually wanted to say.
Oh, you actually have something to say, Toll?
Yes. I have two separate things. I'll wait till you're done.
We have 3 months till Lightfall. We're literally getting a new season, a new dungeon, and then the dawning back to back. We're gonna have plenty of content to keep and moments of triumph. We're gonna have so much content to keep us engaged in the game for the next 3 months. Give Bungie some time, please. That's all I'm asking. I'm not like Dick Ryan. I'm not saying that like they have nothing to fix. I'm saying give them some time. That's all I'm saying. Like, stop with the canceling of your Lightfall pre-orders. Stop with the mass exodus of the game. Just give them some time, please. That's all I'm saying.
Now, speaking on that time, we do have a time of when Trials is coming back next season. And the answer is December 16th.
Okay.
Also, I saw this on TikTok and I want to address it.
What's up?
They could delay Lightfall. I don't see it happening, but it could happen.
I don't see them delaying Lightfall. We're at a pretty comfy point.
What I'm saying is, if it does happen, it'll be okay.
Yeah. But like if it would happen, it'll be alright.
That means we're going to be getting hopefully a better product.
Oh, you only said that about Trials because they tweeted it 14 minutes ago, you bum.
Yeah, I did.
Anyway.
Alright. I don't know how I feel about that delay, because they already delayed the yearly releases of content from September to February because they kept having to delay content.
Well, no, they're not delayed. I'm not saying they officially delayed. What I'm saying is...
He's saying if it happens, don't freak the fuck out. That's what he's trying to tell
that's all I'm
I
saying.
mean,
just
I'll
don't freak the fuck
because
out.
we probably won't know about it till I can't change my PTO, but...
Yes.
But yeah, so just everyone just be excited, get ready for new content, and we will catch you folks Starside.
Bye.
Peace
We'll see you
out.
next week in the new season.
Bye.